please, please don't prove I'm right. Dun, 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 dun. And please, please, please don't bring me to tears when I just did my makeup so nice. Heartbreak is one thing, my ego's another. I beg you don't embarrass me, motherfucker. Please, please, please. She won the Grammy for Best Pop Album.
Go off.
I know, good for her. I was
Sabrina
happy for her.
Carpenter.
Do you need a blanket or anything, Maggie?
I'm warm today.
I know, it is pretty warm. It's
What's
hot today.
up?
Hey, yo. What's how it is, ho? What's up? Every good girl needs some love. That's Doechii.
Yep.
We love that.
We do. She also won a Grammy.
She did. Best rap album? She had the best performance, in my opinion.
She's a performer.
She is.
Like, I feel like lately with award shows, people perform, but the performances suck.
This Grammys?
Was pretty good.
A lot of them were good.
I loved Chapel's. Her VMA's
Chapel's
performance,
amazing.
I didn't like it. But
No,
the
same.
Grammys, fire.
She ate that.
She did.
She did good. Sabrina's was fun. Doechii's was the best. I liked when they did like the best new artists. And it was like kind of like in a row, a bunch of different ones. Like they had Ray. She did the baby. But she didn't do that part of it. But she hit a note that was good.
No, yeah, she was eating it up. Welcome back to the shade of it all.
Welcome back, y'all. It's the shade of it all. I'm Brandon.
I'm Magdalene.
And we're here to talk about
The Traitors.
the Traitors.
The Traitors.
For arguably the most dramatic, campiest episode.
What's camp, Brandon?
Camp-
It's just cool.
Camp, I mean, you could say cool. Camp is like, it's a little like
Someone has explained it. I always forget.
like maybe like like I don't know if this is the exact definition of like camp, but oftentimes they'll say like I've heard the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City be described as like camp because it's like maybe ridiculous and iconic in its ridiculous nature. Like when they're over there for a game dressed up like they're about to face their death
Yeah.
and doing these dramatic speeches. That's camp. Because it's iconic and slay, but also like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So kind of like that.
Yeah.
In the pop culture, reality TV, I feel like those scenarios. But I don't know if I could actually put into words
Ridiculous.
the exact definition
of camp.
But we love camp.
It was camp, y'all. We're
was.
gonna break it down for you.
We are.
What episode's episode 7?
Episode 7, and look, me and Maggie, we're having a good Friday. We did a good workout. We're feeling strong.
We worked out.
Feeling swole.
I went 3 times this week.
Yes, we both did. Cause I think,
Yeah? Did we
I
do
go
them all
3 times?
together?
Did we go 4?
No. I know I didn't do 4.
No, wait. What
Because we didn't go
days?
Monday. You were closing.
We didn't go Monday, but we went Tuesday. I don't think I went Wednesday.
I know I went yesterday.
I think we did Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
That's what
we
it
did. Okay, it
was.
was just 3.
I
Never
might
mind.
go again on Sunday. We'll see.
Keep me posted, maybe.
We've been very active this week.
We have.
We're also lifting heavier. I'm proud of us.
No, we are. We were really on our
push
like
each other.
We
I don't
do.
know if you know, but like I'm kind of competing with you.
I mean, I figured because bitches always say trying to copy me and get in my bag.
Really? No, it's more like, oh, he just picked up 22 pounds. All right, well, I'll pick up 28 pounds. I also think though, like I'm stronger than I think I'm stronger than I am allowing myself to be.
I agree.
Like I keep my weights light, but I can actually lift like more than I try. So today I was like, no, we're gonna try this one and that one.
I felt that yesterday because yesterday was more of a strength day and I had like good energy and I was like, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah,
and then I
just
was like,
do it.
I can, and I felt it. And then Coach Jen was pushing us, and I was like, yes.
No, we can lift heavy shit. We're getting it. We're
Mind
getting
over
it.
matter. We're strong.
100%.
But yeah, so we're really like amazing. And
No,
just
we're
feeling
pushing
it.
our January goals. I think
We
we
are.
both had a health related goal. It's February. We're crushing it. I'm proud of myself. I took a walk on Monday. It was getting kind of
did.
dark, and I still took a walk.
I love
took a
that.
nice 45-minute walk.
Oh.
Our neighborhood is very walkable. It's nice here.
It is. It's not sketchy.
It's just
And
a
I
lot of people
appreciate
have
that.
dogs, so you kind of just gotta like look around a little bit. But other than that,
but you know, is what it is. But yeah, so we're killing it. We're amazing. But you know who's not amazing? These traitors. They're not in their bag. They're not practicing any positive New
they're not
Year's
reaching their
resolutions.
goals.
I
They're
mean,
struggling mentally.
some could say they reached a goal at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
But they took so many routes that didn't need to be taken. And by they, I mean Danielle.
I think I disagree, but we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it because one could argue without one thing, another thing couldn't happen. So maybe it's meant to be.
I don't know what he's talking about, but we'll see.
Just remember
we'll
that.
see.
All right.
You want to kick it off?
Sure, I'll kick it off. So we get to the turret. And this one's kind of brief because we got most of it.
We should do a pod where we wear hoods and shit one day. That'd be fun.
Okay.
We need to find some hoods.
We got to find some Traitors hoods. Is it green or is it black?
It looks like it's like a forest green or a hunter's green.
We got to see. We'll make one. Okay.
Not make it. We just need to put blankets over our heads.
Right. And we'll do the reveal.
Sorry, go ahead.
And it'll be like, we're the traitors.
Right.
But with the turret, we kind of got most of it last episode, I will say. But this one, basically, they just cannot decide who to murder.
Nope.
It's funny because initially you think they're just going to pick anyone because Danielle's like, I don't even care who we murder. But what we quickly realize is they do care who they murder.
She cares a lot.
She cares quite a lot.
She's like, just vote. Just vote.
And then she's like, actually don't.
Pick this person. No. This person. No. But I don't care.
But I don't care at all.
Danielle.
Because I'm shocker, Boston Rob. Well, I will say before they throw out names, one way they're trying to decide is like, well, who has a shield?
Yeah.
And Carolyn and Danielle were in the same group, and Carolyn was the one who got the shield in that group.
Yeah.
So they know.
Yeah.
But Boston Rob refuses to reveal who got a shield in his group.
Yeah, like they're starting to talk about it, and Danielle is like, well, who had one in your group, Rob? And he's like, I don't want to say. And it's like, I don't feel comfortable. But you want them to trust you. I mean, I kind of get his perspective. Like, you want to keep the people in your group safe, probably Dylan.
Yeah.
But
then Dylan was one of the names he threw out, which I know he knows they have a shield, but
I
if
didn't
they
even
were
put
to
that
do
together.
that and Dylan's there, they're gonna know you lied.
Right.
So why even do that?
See, Rob is funny because he's like trying to garner trust, and it's still being shady at the same time.
That part. Interesting moves.
Anyway.
But the first name he throws out, surprise, surprise to no one, is Derek. Because Derek directly came for him. But Danielle pushes back because he's a true friend, and Danielle's very emotional about that.
It was weird because she said, like, I wouldn't want him to know that I didn't protect him. And Rob is like, but you're a traitor. He's not going to know. And I think she meant after the show.
Probably.
So I got that. I got it after that.
Yeah. She gave some. It was just like, well, he told me he didn't have a shield, so they'll know I'm a traitor. And he's like, but they don't know you're a traitor, and he'll be dead.
Yeah.
So, like,
that was confusing.
But Carolyn proposes Sam because he's like a safe choice, and Boston Rob seems to kind of be on the same page, but Danielle's like, there's no point. And I'm like, well, that actually is who you should pick if y'all can't decide on someone,
right?
And if you don't truly care.
Yeah.
But
I guess in her eyes it's like a waste.
Yeah. Which, you know, it's tricky because it is a waste, but also, look, all I know is with this episode, if Sam and Ivar somehow win the game, I'm going to be like,
that'd be really funny.
The point of the season?
I haven't even thought about that. I thought that I don't know why I just made that noise. I breathed in funny. These mics pick up a little too much.
They do. They're too high quality.
Yeah, every breath. I was gonna say, I feel like that I don't really have any ideas for who anybody should kill because really the only person in danger is Rob.
Yeah.
And there's several people after him. Danielle and Carolyn really probably just want to protect their allies. Yeah. Which is what Danielle's trying to do. But like in terms of picking, I don't know.
It kind of because there's so much shit going on with the traitors themselves.
Yeah.
Even I was thinking, I was like, I don't know who y'all should kill. Good luck with that one.
Right.
And then this is where Boston Rob says Dylan, which is a little confusing because he knows he has a shield. And then when Dylan isn't murdered, again, they're going to know you're lying. And that's going to create more distrust.
Right.
But whatever. But they're like, no.
Yeah. Danielle is like, Dylan trusts all of us. He trusts you, Rob. He trusts me. He trusts Carolyn. So why? And I'm like, that's valid. Oh,
that's a valid point.
Danielle, logical points, Danielle.
A broken clock is right twice a day.
She's getting it together
a little bit.
I have hope. I will say
more in this episode she had it together than before.
I think she shut down and just shut up.
Right. She's like, let me not. They propose Sierra. Danielle's like, no. And I'm like, I know that's right.
They're like, fuck Danielle, then who?
Yeah, and they're just like, we don't know who to murder. And then Boston Rob's like, what happens if the traitors can't agree? And I was thinking, I was like, oh shit, are they just like not gonna murder anyone because they can't agree? Which would be stupid because, okay, even if like you think Sam's a waste, do you know what's a bigger waste? Getting rid of no one.
Yeah.
So, but that was it for the turret.
Yeah. So then they have breakfast. We don't know who they decide. Brittany and Ivar enter first, and Brittany reflects, and she says, Ivar is furniture. He is basically furniture that makes tea. And I kind of love the Ivar hate a little bit.
I do too. I think what got me was the way she was looking at him. He was just like there at breakfast and she was like,
she's just eyeing him. The producers were probably like, why were you looking at him like that? And then she like explained.
Yeah. I will say great showing of Brittany this episode. I loved her. I was like, about time we see more Brittany.
That was kind of my hint. I was like, they're showing Brittany's confessionals. Is she about to go home? Like, it made me a little antsy.
Mm-hmm. This show's funny because it's like, you'll have people like in the beginning, like I remember like when they didn't show Sierra a lot of people online were like Bravo related or like, oh, she must not make it far. And I'm like, well, in this show where there's like 87 people, usually they wait to show you like the more you're going to be a part of it. Right. So like with Brittany, it's like we're seeing her more. Yeah. And it's because she's actively in it more. Yeah. But before, when she's not really like about to get murdered or about to do anything, they're not going to like show her. Right. Because there's just too many. Yeah. But.
And then another group walks in. Danielle is included. She says how she feels really alone in this game and it's not working well. Things are just going really badly for her. And it's all her fault.
It's not her fault.
Ivar. In with Danielle came Tom and Dylan. Wait, no. It was just Danielle came in with somebody. I think it was maybe Dylan.
Chriselle and Dolores.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And then
I got you.
Ivar is talking to the group and he's like, I'm really worried for Tom and Dylan. And Chriselle says, was it Chriselle? Yeah, it was. Chriselle's like, if it was me, I would murder Tom. Y'all would know who the traitor was because I would murder Tom in a heartbeat. And they all kind of laugh.
We know you would do something that obvious as a traitor, Chriselle.
Oh my gosh. So Carolyn walks in with Tom and Dylan, which is funny because they were just talking about them. Carolyn says that she wants Danielle out. She's over her. Then Gabby is talking and she says that she thought, so they're all like talking about who they thought would die. And Gabby is like, yeah, I thought Ivar would die. And they all look at her like, girl. And Ivar's like, well, it's a good thing I'm at breakfast. And Gabby's like, oh, I didn't see you there.
She's like, oh my God, I'm tagged.
And they all laugh. And Ivar's like, at least you didn't say anything bad. I'm like, Gabby.
I know, right? I love Gabby. She did a TikTok. She was like, I didn't see him there. Something was going on in my peripheries. I don't know. Also, why was Tom in that sweatsuit?
Oh yeah, the bright red sweat.
He looked like he was going to teach Jim dodgeball.
So like typically when people have a wardrobe, it like has a theme, a pattern.
Brittany has ugly headbands. Sierra
was bezazzled.
Beautiful gowns. Gabby has plaid.
Chriselle has big ass hats.
Chriselle has big ass hats and things that make no sense either, but kind of.
Dylan actually kind of looks normal.
He does. He likes a sweater.
But Tom's wardrobe is all over the place. He's got this red tracksuit from like the 90s or 80s. I don't know. And then he had all those ugly sweaters. He occasionally will wear a skirt. Like, pick.
I know. I mean, I prefer him when he's more dressed up, like with the kilt and everything.
Yeah.
Although, to be honest, it's all a little try hard and nothing really works. But
yeah, he's like, I'm in a band, and so this is what people in a band wear. My nails are painted, and I'm in a band, dude.
I had to get a manicure. I couldn't go to the business meeting for Schwartz and Sandy's. Dude. And Ariana, guess what? I got my nails done, and I had my assistant get batteries. And toilet paper. And you know what Ariana was doing? Nothing, because she's fucking lazy, dude. I have to cheat on her with Raquel. Anyways.
I have to sleep with her best friend. It's the only solution. The only way.
He's so stupid.
Anyway, so the group notices that Rob, Dylan, and Derek are missing. So they wonder, who's it gonna be? They speculate. And then Rob and Dylan walk in.
Yes.
Derek is dead. And I was like, Derek, for real? Wouldn't that make Rob look suspicious?
Well, yeah. I was a little surprised too, just because I was like, I don't know. I was surprised yet appreciated because
you didn't like Derek.
I didn't care for Derek that much. And then I also was like, when those three showed up in the cages, I was like, oh God, they're going to take over the game. This is going to suck. So the fact that Wes and Derek kind of went back to back was nice. But I was surprised.
Yeah.
Because it was so obvious.
Yeah.
But I guess that's kind of what he was banking on with his thing.
Oh, Rob. I mean, there's only so many different angles you could take to defending the same case, right?
Right.
So we'll see how you do with this one. So Rob, we get a flashback to the turret. Rob wanted Derek. Danielle said no, but they end up doing it anyway. And Danielle basically asks her, like, if I let you take out Derek, can we just start fresh? Can we just start over? And Rob's like, yes. Bullshit. Then she apologizes to Carolyn again. Also bullshit. These people don't trust each other.
Yeah.
But whatever. So Danielle starts to cry at the table. She feels really guilty. And I think these are real tears.
A little too much tears.
Yeah, I was like,
but
somebody hugged her. Was it Dolores?
Maybe.
Or
whoever
Chriselle.
was next to her. I forget who she was next to.
Chriselle. Oh, sweet Chriselle.
It might have been Chriselle.
And here goes Rob. He whispers to Dylan, someone's trying to frame me.
They're trying to frame me, obviously.
See, man, this is the only thing that makes sense. Maybe let them suspect first and then defend yourself. It's weird to just come out there. I'm being framed.
But I mean, he had his two closest people to him, Sierra and Dylan, were diehard for Rob.
Yeah. They really support him.
So they were like, yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, you're being framed, man.
And I'm like,
you're
no.
right, because this is what you said last night at the round table, you know, when we thought you were guilty and you ended up innocent. So it has to be the truth that you're being framed. So Tom puts his detective hat on, and in his confessional he's like, the crazy thing is, guys, the three people who were after Rob are dead now, and all of the evidence points to Rob, and I think Rob is a traitor. I'm watching him.
The way he said this, I busted out laughing. He was just like, at this point, everybody who's gone against Boss and Rob ends up murder. And it's just like, how many, is it enough? And I'm like, Tom, shut up. You're right. Shut up.
So Alan walks in. He does his thing.
Good morning, crumpet munchers.
Not crumpet. I missed that. I saw them laughing, but I was rushing. I was like, I got things to do, Alan. Can you hurry up and tell us who got...
I gotta watch this.
Yeah, I got things to do. I'm not rewinding it, but they were laughing. I didn't realize... Crumpet munchers is funny.
It is.
Ooh, we might have to pick that up.
Oh.
Y'all are crumpet munchers.
You crumpet muncher.
He throws Derek's picture on the ground and he tells them that they will all have to get into pairs, so they need to choose wisely who they want to be paired up with, and they have to dress for the occasion. And so they start Alan leaves and they all start talking.
Yeah. And Dylan lets Rob know that he has big tea about what Derek told him.
I have tea for you in the after. Let's go into the foyer. I have tea.
I have tea.
I have tea. Oh,
Ivar
made it.
Jinx.
Ivar made some really good tea.
It's amazing. Brittany gives glowing reviews about
We
it.
actually see Tom with a teacup shortly after this, so
We
maybe
do.
Ivar was chefing it up.
He could have been. So they disperse. Sierra joins Gabby, Chriselle, Carolyn, and Dolores outside. I don't know why this moment, I posted it on our TikTok. This moment just made me laugh. Just Sierra walking out being like, girls, where y'all at? And she just looks stunning in like her jumpsuit and coat. She looked like she was the queen of the castle. And she's like, it is cold. And I'm like, I love you, Sierra. Never change.
Sierra's summer house, right?
Yes, which summer house starts next week, y'all.
Oh, you told me that the other day and I forgot already.
It's okay.
Stay tuned. We're
I'll remind
watching
you.
it. Please. Please.
It's supposed to be a good premiere, I've heard. So,
I'm excited.
and there's a lot of tea. I can't wait to bring you into the Craig and Paige breakup lore that's happening.
Oh, yeah, because that happened.
It did happen. And now we're going to get Paige's
Remember,
side.
Gia was like, Maggie, this happened. And I was just like, wow.
Maggie's like, I don't know these people. I have never watched Southern Charm or Summer House a day in my life.
Southern Charm sounds like a fantasy show about people with magical powers.
Close. It's about Peter Pans in Charleston.
What?
Like boys who like men who like stay boys and like don't grow up and are fuck boys.
Oh,
They call
I've
it
never.
Peter Pans.
That makes
Never
sense.
grow up.
That makes sense. I'm following.
I'm
I was
connecting
like, what the fuck
this.
is a Peter Pan?
I will say Southern Charm, they're on like their 9th season. The season sucks. It used to be good. That's a show if you ever wanted to, maybe, but you don't have to. It's not must-see television.
I'll pass.
Yeah. They did pick up cameras for because after Paige announced their breakup, I guess Summer House and Southern Charm picked up cameras at the end of the season.
So maybe we'll have some.
Maybe we'll see that clip from Southern Charm.
Because didn't that just happen?
It did. She announced it end of December.
So it won't be on Summer House probably.
They picked cameras back up
So it'll be at the end.
at the very end is the thing. So
Because that happened in July? June?
yes, they filmed Summer House July to like September.
Okay, that makes sense.
Paige did reveal though that she had broken up with Craig Thanksgiving weekend, and then he did press saying that they were still together. There's a lot of messiness. I'll catch you up at some point.
They got back together then?
No.
Last Thanksgiving?
This Thanksgiving. Well, the one that just passed.
24?
Yeah.
How'd they film that then?
Film what?
Like, how did it get in the show if it was so recent?
Because I don't know, they just pick, like Scandival, they pick cameras back up. And they just did that.
That's a quick turnaround.
They're doing that with every show. That's the thing. Something happens, pick those cameras
Hey,
back
so
up.
we have an emergency production team, right?
Right.
Just in case there's real tea, right? We will all get back together and do the do.
Right. And I'm curious to see how it is, but
Me too.
that's for next time.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Stay
we will
tuned,
see
y'all.
Sierra again. Sierra, we
will.
see you.
I'm excited to see her in the summertime.
I really like her.
Yes.
I really like
She had
her.
an awful read this game, but she's not a gamer. It is
Look,
what it is. She trusted a guy from Boston who held her hand when there was a snake on her. Like, what do you want from her?
Right.
Like,
He was really supportive.
he was very supportive. But Sierra does point out, she's like, why the fuck is Danielle crying? Like, Derek's her long lost man. Like, he's not actually dead. And I'm like, period.
If only you knew, Sierra. If only she literally has 0 friends. Derek is like her only friend, kind of.
Right.
Brittany hates her, Carolyn hates her, Rob hates her, and everybody thinks she's a little bitch because she's crying all the time. She's having a hard time, Sierra.
She's trying.
If only you knew.
If only you knew everything. Then Dylan tells Boston Rob how Derek said he's gonna get murdered, and if he does, it's Boston Rob and Brittany are the traitors. And he does know, and I'm mentioning this now because I want to bring it up later. He says he won't tell the others that Derek had said his name.
Right.
Only Brittany.
Only Brittany's.
Is what he says he's going to say. They're also walking down the hallway and Tom bumps into them.
with a cup of tea in hand or something.
Yes. And then he kind of follows them and kind of doesn't. That was a funny moment.
He's like,
can I join? And they're like, no. Sam and Ivar are playing birdie. I think that's what that game's called, where it's like,
I don't fucking know.
it's like the bird and like the thinner rackets. I could be wrong.
I don't think
I'm
that's
sorry
the
if I'm
name.
wrong. And
I
this
think
is
the object is called a birdie.
yes.
I think the game is called
wiffle ball. No,
racquet ball.
something.
They're playing a British game.
They are, and this is where
An
I'm
English
like,
game. I don't know.
if they win somehow,
That would be so funny.
I would never watch this show again.
Really?
No, but I would be like, what is the integrity of this game?
No, but honestly, that's tea because like the two most unsuspected people outlast everybody else who keeps yapping and shit. Like the traitors are literally not looking at them at all.
That is true.
The problem is these two aren't very smart.
That part.
It's like Dumb and Dumber playing a game outside.
Yes.
Because Sam says like, "Oh, me and Ivar are paired, so this is a team."
And then they're both like terrible at it. They probably won't win, but I see them making it far.
Yeah.
Is a thing. So,
Yeah.
but we cut to Brittany and Danielle, and they talk. And Danielle wants to work on their relationship and be partners in the challenge. And I like this duo.
Yeah.
I appreciate them sticking together. I wish they would have been closer since the beginning, but better late than never, I
Yeah,
suppose.
Danielle's petty for bringing reindeer games into this nonsense.
I know, like,
It's a
come
freaking
on,
Christmas
Danielle.
special, girl.
Right.
Anyway,
It was good, though.
it was.
Tom sketchily joins Dylan and Boston Rob, and Dylan reluctantly tells him about the conversation with Derek, and he only mentions Derek saying Brittany's name.
Yeah.
We don't give Tom a lot of credit, and we won't make this a habit, is the thing. But for this episode, we will give him some.
Give credit where credit is due.
We will. And when Dylan's saying this, and Boston Rob's like, clearly they're trying to frame me, like all that. Tom's like, but you have to admit, dude, like, there's a lot of evidence against you, like solid evidence. And Rob's just trying to double down and be like, they're doing these murders to make me look more guilty.
He's like, what reason do I have for, I think he says, what reason does he have for murdering Derek?
Yeah.
And then Tom in his confessional is talking, but I can't pay attention because his hat is melted. Did you notice? He's got a Tom hat on, and like the two T's are like fused together, and all of the like materials like falling apart.
Oh, so probably.
And I was like, why would you wear it?
Get a new one. I didn't even notice he was wearing Tom
See,
merch.
that is a metaphor for the crumbling of your business, the disablement of the establishment.
You are a walking symbol of
Why would he
all
wear that
of your
hat?
mistakes.
100%. Why would he wear that hat?
I don't know. Maybe
Did you not? Maybe he didn't look at it.
He probably didn't notice.
Online, a lot of people have been noticing how sweaty Tom is and like how like jittery he is, and they think he's going through something. And so this hat, I feel like, is a reflection of that. Because what are you doing?
It is.
Anyway, you didn't notice it. I'm gonna have to grab it.
I'll have to look back. I didn't notice he was wearing a Tom hat, but I believe it. Rob leaves, and Tom tells Dylan that it's very likely that Rob is a traitor. And he's just basically telling us, like, he's got to go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, Tom. All right.
Tom is on his game.
He is.
And I guess the benefit for him right now and not being a gamer is he's not scared.
That's true.
And he 100% should be, but I guess he forgot to be scared. And so
yeah, and you know what, I will say at this point, the fact that this has now happened like 3 times,
yeah,
it's like, yes, it's so obvious it's Boston Rob, and like, look, they've tried to lead a horse to water many times, and you can't force it to drink though.
Yeah,
3rd time's a charm. He's finally drinking.
Yeah,
so kudos.
Let him cook.
Let him cook a little bit. Give him a skillet. Give him some butter. Give him all that. He's cooking.
He's cooking.
I feel like he can't cook in real life, though.
Oh, I'm 100% sure he would like make himself sick if he made a meal. So we go into the challenge. And Alan so they're all dressed in their best. Most of them are wearing red.
Yes.
I figured you'd have opinions on the fits.
Of course.
I was a little too blah, 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 out of it to think, but I really liked Danielle's.
Yes,
you did?
I love Danielle's.
Okay.
I will say, I think they all overall look good. Like, they dressed to the nines. There was no one that looked like horrific or anything.
Yeah.
But my special shout outs do go to Danielle. I thought she looked amazing.
You ate Danielle. Your shoulders out. Okay, girl.
Right?
Go on.
I thought Carolyn looked nice. I liked her flowery, like, headpiece.
I can't remember. I'm sorry.
Carolyn's kind of being a little fashion girly.
No. Her fits in all the other, like that day she was walking weird, her jumpsuit was cute.
She had, like, bows before, too. I was like, okay.
No,
Carolyn.
she wears like really cute dresses and stuff. Like her clothes are nice.
They are.
She has a pattern. She's a style. She's doing something with it.
It's connected.
And
then also special shout out to Sierra. I liked hers a lot. It was like a dark red gown. She had a little black thing here that was like gold, and then she had like the black headpiece, and I was just like, I like this.
Yeah, and
also,
the boys look nice too.
They did.
Yeah, Rob looked nice.
He did.
He took his hat off.
He did. He should keep the hat off. Dylan and Tom had like matching suit jackets.
Yeah, they were like red and black. Tom wore a skirt, a blazer, and a sheer shirt underneath, and I was like, they're doing a lot.
Pick one.
He looks nice in a skirt. I mean, I guess. I don't know. He kind of has chicken legs.
You know,
all I remember actually about people and how they looked is Dylan had a scene with his shirt off, and I was like, damn, Dylan.
Oh, Dylan.
Oh,
okay.
That's what's under there, Dylan.
I see you're an Efron.
Oh, you work out.
Oh,
I was
okay,
like a
Dylan.
6-pack. I was like, wait a minute. Go back
Hold
a
up.
second.
Wait a minute,
Stop.
Mr. Postman.
Wait,
Hey, Mr. Postman.
I don't remember what he was wearing in this challenge, but I do remember that the brother has a
I
six-pack.
remember seeing him shirtless.
I was like, okay.
They showed Sam too. Couple
Shirtless?
times. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't care.
Period.
I think it's because like Sam doesn't mean anything to me in this show. You know what I mean? He's just wallpaper.
He's just there.
He's eating and talking occasionally, but that's it. But they all walk out in their best, and they're dressed for a wedding. And Alan is the bride, so Alan's got his suit, and then he's got like almost like a skirt, half kind of skirt thing.
Yeah.
And it was all frilly. It looked really nice, and he's got a big, like, I don't know.
It was like a red fixture, right?
Yeah,
or something.
it was like a big leaf, a couple leaves, and they were red. He always looks great. Alan's stylist needs a raise. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he was styling himself.
I wouldn't either.
Because I believe in him.
Definitely a strong collaborative effort.
So they are all in pairs, and the pairs will go head to head in this challenge, and they'll battle for safety. So the pairs will go head to head. There's 6 people paired up, and then the 3 that make it out will have safety, and they'll be safe from murder. So now they're traitors. So there's less people, so the traitors have less. Will have a couple options for murder based off of these 3 groups. So it's Sam and Ivar versus Tom and Dylan, Sierra and Rob versus Dolores and Chriselle, and then Danielle and Brittany versus Gabby and Caroline. So it's like essentially it's like a wedding ceremony. Each couple like walks in together, they go into the altar, and essentially they have to hold hands with their partner for 8 minutes, and if they do it without breaking, they'll get the money. And then of course the couple that holds hands the longest will be safe. I didn't really know where they were going with this until
Yeah. I was like, what are we going to do?
They're just gonna stand there and hold hands? No, because the first thing they get is goggles, and I'm like, damn. So the Traitors likes to have at least one challenge where they throw bugs and shit at everybody. So the gag is they get gifts. The gifts don't bite, but they have to withstand holding each other's hand with the gifts on them. So the first gift is giant centipedes. We see Rob and Sierra. Rob is like talking her through. She's like, it's okay. Or they're actually millipedes, more legs than centipedes.
Even more.
And then we see Chriselle and Dolores, and Chriselle sees one of the millipedes touch her, and she immediately lets go. She was over it.
It didn't even touch her. They didn't put it in the box. She just saw it and immediately ripped her hand. I was like, Chriselle. And Dolores is like, I picked the wrong person.
Actually surprised because I thought Dolores might like be on the same level. Like, yeah, that's crazy, but she was kind of irritated.
No, Dolores is
competitive,
tough from Jersey.
Yeah,
she's Sopranos tease.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sierra was funny because she was just not looking.
Yeah.
And Rob was like, when's your birthday, Sierra?
Yeah.
And she's like, December 23rd.
He's like, I was born on Christmas.
And she's like, oh my gosh, we're Capricorns. We're some years apart, but we're Capricorn.
Rob is doing a really good job of keeping Sierra calm.
Yeah. And then the thing is, it's like, if they keep it, because this game had layers. It's like if they do it for 8 minutes, they get the money, and it's like $4,500 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And then it's like, but whoever does it the most, then they get the shield.
Yeah, essentially, because if both pairs make it to 8 minutes, then they have to kind of do like a sudden death.
Which we didn't know at first.
We
right?
didn't. No, that was like a twist at the end.
I think they expected more people to like
let go.
Yeah.
But no, they lasted. So Carolyn and Gabby are just like, don't look at. They're talking to each other like, don't look at it. We're okay. We can do it. Danielle and Brittany were locked in. They weren't looking at it. And then they add these little scorpions. Carolyn is shaking. Carolyn is screaming a lot and stuff, but she's holding it together.
Yeah.
She wants to keep Gabby safe. Like, she's thinking in the back of her head, like she wants Gabby to have a shield. So they're hyping each other up. Gabby's like, we can do hard things. I'm trying to talk like we can do hard. I don't know, but Gabby has a way of speaking.
She's like Jennifer Coolidge, kind of.
Yeah.
But she was funny because Alan was like, how are y'all doing? And she's like, you'll be hearing from my lawyers.
Ivar, we see the boys. Ivar and Sam are locked in. Sam thinks the animals are cute. He's talking about the millipedes and stuff. Dylan and Tom are a little different. Dylan is locked in, but he's like, I need to keep Tom calm. And so I think Alan asked them, like, Tom, how are you doing? And he's like, I'll try anything once. And Alan says, don't tease me.
I'm like, oh God, no, don't do this.
Alan, how could you ever stoop so low?
Standards, Alan, standards.
So we reach like the 3-minute mark. We go back to Carolyn and Gabby, Brittany and Danielle. They add roaches, maggots, and crickets fall on top of their heads.
This is where I might have tapped out.
100%.
I feel like I could handle if I didn't look, like holding the hand. Like, it would be bad, but like you can make it through. When they're falling on their heads like that, I'm like, I can't do this.
No, it's it's not a little bit, y'all. It's a lot of them. It's a lot.
No, and it's getting like all in their hair and in Tom's hat.
Yeah. So Carolyn is screaming for bloody murder. Gabby's like, it's okay to be afraid.
Being afraid is good. Embrace the feeling.
We go back to Rob and Sierra. She's screaming. What Brandon said, Tom's hat is just the crickets are just crawling across his hat. Dylan is laughing. And then Ivar and Sam are laughing. They're just like, I was like, y'all are a little demented.
There was something menacing about Sam.
He's like,
he's like, he's perfectly, as it's falling, and his hair is like perfectly fallen on his face, kind of. It was like, I don't know, it kind of freaked me out. I'm
he
like,
had
what are
a lot
we doing?
Of dirt too. Like, it was like just like dirt, and for some reason they didn't drop it on Ivar at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the crickets are doing their thing. Some people are saying like the crickets, the bugs are down their back in their bras. The girls are freaking out. And then the final gift is a giant snake. A big snake, like this type of Britney Spears dancing with a snake, big snake. Not that big, but like half the size of that.
It was decent.
It was pretty big. So Carolyn or Sierra is freaking out, and Rob is talking to her. He's like, tell me where we're going to go out to eat in New York. What are you going to get to eat? Rob is doing a really good job. And this is where I'm realizing, like, yo, Rob is actually like he's like annoying as a traitor, I think, because of just how he did things. But like, he's a very good social player. He's good at making people feel comfortable, convincing people. Like, he's good.
He seems like a good person.
Yeah.
Like, in general. He's just like an intense gamer.
Right.
Which, you know, is what it is.
Kind of like, he has a couple daughters, I think. Maybe at least one. But it definitely felt like a dad just being like, stay calm. It's okay. You're going to get through it. He knew exactly what to tell Sierra.
And she was like, we're going to Emilio's. I get the veal parmesan. He's like, I love veal parm. I'm like, I want veal parm now.
Me too. Carolyn screams for Gabby. She's just like, Gabby. And Gabby's like, what is it? And Carolyn's like, keep your eyes closed. And Gabby's like, should I quit? Do you want to quit? Like, what are we going to do? Gabby's pissed. She's in her confessional. I think she just says she's pissed. Danielle is squirming. Dylan tells Tom to relax with the snake. Sierra doesn't know exactly what's on her shoulder. She's just talking to Rob and he's making her calm. So all of them finish. All 5 of the people remaining finish. They earn the money. But then it's sudden death because we have to decide who's going to get the shield. So the people who are last have to fish out a ring from a box. And the box is full of the maggots, the cockroaches, everything else. They get to take off the snakes, and I guess they get to clean up a little bit, but then they have to jump right into this sudden death thing. So they're all like start digging through. They have to find a very small ring inside this box of bugs. Rob, Sierra, Ivar, Sam, Brittany, Danielle are safe. All of those pairs find the rings first. And so they leave. One of the grossest challenges we've seen. I think this one's definitely the worst.
Oh, yeah. I could not imagine what it felt like after, like, being in the car.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah. No, they seemed like, I think they felt gross in the car, but, like, they seemed okay. And I would have ran. I would have been rolling on the ground. Like, I may have taken off all my clothes to be like, please.
No, like jumped in a body of water or something to like cleanse myself.
How did they ride in the car back with those clothes on?
I don't know. I would not have been able to.
Yeah. So they start having conversations.
We're too big of germaphobes for that.
What? Brandon, we would have failed. I would have been like, Brandon, you want to take an owl? It's okay. I think we're all right. Look, we're still going to get paid regardless. We made it pretty far. Final 12.
Period. But on the way home, this is where Boston Rob is trying to sell his theory about, I'm being framed and all this. And he's talking to Sierra, Chriselle, and Dolores. And this is where he's kind of trying to piggyback off Derek's theory he told Dylan. And he's like, I think it could be Brittany. And Sierra's like, I've kind of been suspecting her. And I'm like, why?
I feel like he could have picked a better person to frame. Like Danielle.
It's just a little dumb in my opinion, because I'm like, you are going off of one person that told your ally, but this person that said it is now dead.
Right.
So it's just like, I don't know. It was an odd angle.
If y'all ever play a game and they're like, the person that just got out said this, take it with a grain of salt, because they're not there to say it.
Derek was like wrong. This is why too, and I'll get into it later. But Brittany asked Carolyn, Danielle, and Gabby. People are still thinking it's Rob because of all the evidence. And Danielle tells us that she wants to be quiet because she wants Boston Rob to leave and for him to be out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, period. This may be the time.
Right.
But when they get back to the castle, there was a funny moment where Carolyn couldn't open the door. And Gabby's like, you just twist that. And she's like, oh.
She's like, oh. She like opens and she's like, oh. And she's like laughing when she comes in. I'm like learning to love Carolyn. I guess I never disliked her. I just knew she was kind of quirky.
Yeah.
I think the word I used was batshit, but she is like funny.
She's fun and she's just herself.
Yeah.
And she doesn't seem like she's a bad bone in her body.
100%. I would love to walk around with that much confidence.
Yeah.
Hats off to you, Carolyn. She doesn't give a fuck.
We love you, Carolyn.
She's like, what do you have to say about me? Anyways.
Sadie, I saw this one clip from her Survivor where Jeff, that's the host.
Yeah.
It was some ceremony and he was just like, well, hopefully, Carolyn, you'll get enough sleep and think differently about something. And she gives him this look like,
bitch.
And he's like, are you mad at me now? She's like, yes. I'm like, period. Pop off. I like when contestants will randomly like turn on the host because they said something rude.
Right. When the host deserves it, you got to give them some heat. But I don't know how they do it on Survivor. Set days without showering, eating, and sleeping properly. I would have an emotional breakdown for the world to see. I would show my ass on TV.
Did you see, are you familiar with Michelle from Survivor?
Michelle?
She won a season.
Oh, but like people didn't agree with her win? Yeah.
She has a podcast now on the Rob Has a Podcast channel.
Really?
Like the Social Circle.
Yeah.
And it's with this other girl from Survivor.
Oh.
But they just had Wes on it. I didn't really like the episode. I mean, I don't know how she is as a podcaster.
Oh, are they talking about Traitors?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And because she's done the challenge, I think, too.
Oh, she was on the challenge. I remember seeing her.
But anyways, they're back at the mansion and Tom holds court with Dylan, Sam, and Ivar. And they're still hesitant that Rob is a traitor for some reason. But Tom is like, no, dude, there's all this evidence.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm like at like a shocking point in my psyche because I'm like, y'all need to listen to Tom.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Like, Tom is actually making the most sense. Like, because here's the thing. You can maybe get away with this move, Boston Rob, 2 times.
Right.
But a 3rd time.
Yep.
At this rate, if they really think you're a threat or want you gone, wouldn't they just murder you?
Right.
Like the traitors?
Yeah.
But they can't because you are a traitor.
Yeah. And I thought that it was like, that's why I was like, Rob just going after Brittany is kind of stupid because Danielle actually has been weird. Like there's actions that she's done. There's things she's done that you could call out to the group and say, remember when she saved someone and saved someone else? And like, we're all here trying to save each other, get a shield, but she didn't want a shield. Then she started crying. She cries a lot. Like I would have thrown her on. Maybe he was trying to like make friends with her. But I don't see why. But I was like,
at that rate, yeah.
At this point, Rob, you're so suspicious. You need to throw someone valid out, and throwing Brittany because Derek said something is really stupid. And then yeah, it's stupid.
It just doesn't make sense.
No.
But, you know, he's trying.
He's trying, I guess.
And he, again, is trying to sell to Sierra, Dolores, and Coachella that the traitors... I think the traitors are making us all run in circles and look stupid. And, like, why would I ever kill Derek? Like, it's just so obvious. And it's like, that's exactly why.
They all look like... They're just looking at him like,
Yeah. And he's like, you know, Brittany could be a traitor. And Sierra's like, look, I agree. She hasn't really spoken up at the round table. So let's put some heat on her and see what she has to say.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, she hasn't spoken up. And I want to hear more from Brittany. So I'm fine with that.
right.
But Boston Rob goes to get assurance from Carolyn about voting Brittany. And she's like, the Brittany thing is so stupid. And she's like, but people are saying it. And she's like, really? She's like, okay, whatever. And she doesn't really agree to it. Like, there's not a level of comfort, in my opinion. Like, if I was Boston Rob, I would still be trying to push it.
Right.
But
because he realizes that people aren't really hearing him out. So he's trying to get the traitors on his side. And I was like, you could have listened to Carolyn here and been like, you're right. Who else could we do?
Right. Because maybe you could have mentioned Danielle and she could have been on board. But Brittany joins Rob's Angels and they give her no information. They are quiet as a mouse. And she's like, I'm sensing awkward vibes and the change in the environment and something's up. Because we used to always tell each other information. I'm like, But now, before the round table, Boss and Rob goes up to Danielle. And he's like, you know, people are saying Brittany's name. And she's like, oh, okay. But she's telling us, she's like, I've been hearing Brittany's name. But, like, at this point, I got to do what's right. And, like, I want to protect Brittany, basically. Yeah. And I'm like, okay.
She's like, I'm being forced to take out all of the people I like. And I'm like, you kind of are.
At, like, some point, you got to stand for your people, Danielle. Which... does she? I mean, kind of.
She needs somebody.
Well, no, like, does she actually end up doing it? Yes, But they don't really see her talking at the round table. Does she ever talk?
Oh, does she defend Brittany, you're saying? No. I think he's asking for her vote, though.
Yeah.
And so we'll see who she votes for.
We'll see that.
So we go into the round table.
Are you?
Down to the valley where the something... Listen, all the creepy music they play in the Traitors is A1. It's a scene. It's good.
They say, and Robin said this on some podcasts, when they actually sit down, they play the song from Hunger Games. Are you? Are you coming to the tree?
That's crazy.
I'm like, that's wild.
So going in, Rob is like, I know I'm going to have to fight for my life, but I do my best work at the round table. Brittany also says she knows people are thinking about her. She's ready to fight too. In walks Alan. He's like, hello. And Carolyn has her back to him, and it's like a jump scare. I would have jumped too.
You would have screamed. You would
100%. 100%. Also, why does my back have to be completely like why? No.
Yeah. And he has a very strong entrance is the thing.
They set her up. They're like, Carolyn's.
They're like, Carolyn, we need a reaction shot. Get there.
They're like, yo, did you see what she did when she couldn't open the door? let's
scare her real quick.
Let's see what she does. So Dylan kicks it off, and he's like, guys, before Derek left, Derek told me, I'm gonna get murdered tonight, and if I do, you need to look out for Brittany and you need to look out for Rob. Because at the last round table, when Dylan was voting, Derek was looking at him, trying to I guess telepathically tell him who to vote for. And Brittany speaks up and is like, trust your gut. So he said that made her look suspicious and made her look like she wanted to protect Rob. So he kind of goes back on what he said earlier.
Yeah, because before he was like, I'm not going to tell anyone else that Derek said your name, Boston Rob.
But I guess
now at the round table,
right,
with everyone, but he's like, he said your name. But
they all heard him say Rob's name, so I guess he kind of has to mention it.
Yeah,
it would be suspect to be like, Derek only told me Brittany, because they all heard him.
X on Boston Rob, it's all Brittany.
So Brittany is explaining herself, and she was like, I was just trying to help you out, Dylan, because you looked like you were on the fence, you looked troubled, so I was trying to help you make the right choice. I didn't think it was Rob, but guys, I'm a faithful, and I feel like I've been wrong about the Traitors before. I have been wrong about my suspicious, but I am a faithful. Mm-hmm. So she tries to defend herself. And then, go ahead.
Oh no, it was funny because she was like, I was trying to do that, and that hurt his ego enough that he then decided I'm a traitor simply because I told Dylan to go with his gut. And I'm like, I know that's right, Brittany. Call it out.
That's not exactly why, but I'm here for it, sis. I'm here for it.
Call it out.
So then Sam starts to speak up, and he's like, well, all of the evidence is pointing at you, Tom. It's the third night that everybody Rob, sorry. All the evidence is pointing to you, Rob. It's the third night that everyone that came after him has been murdered. So Sam wants to give him a chance to defend himself. And Sierra's like, why? This is stupid. He's already defended himself before. I think Gabby interjects too, or I think Tom interjects, and he's like, yeah, why are we giving him space to defend himself again?
Yeah, I get, because I think Sierra was like, because Sierra doesn't at this point think Boston Rob's a traitor. And because they're close or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I'm also so I'm kind of disagree with her in that sense, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I do also get the way Sam phrased it, we need you to defend yourself. I'm like, or not. Yeah. How about we just call him out?
Right.
Why are we defending himself? It's kind of obvious. So at this point, say the reasons why you think, and then don't be now defend yourself.
Sam's like, well, the last time we suspected you said some things, and then we didn't suspect you anymore, so can you say some things again?
Right. It's if you think it, you think it.
You think it.
Right. So there's a good chance, man, that you are a traitor.
Yeah.
A good chance that the only traitor we found was eliminated by another traitor. It's crazy.
This is Tom speaking, so that was Tom's point. He interjects. And then Dolores says that actually it was Dylan who brought out Bob the Queen. And Tom's like, but Rob really sold it home. And I'm like,
making me agree with Tom multiple times in an episode. episode and this is wrong. I am offended by the traitors. Like, Gabby, I will be contacting my lawyers because what the fuck? How many times are you going to make me agree with Tom in this episode, y'all?
No, it's really crazy how much they believed they were eating up everything that Rob said.
I could get it to a sense. It's like, who could be so stupid to play like this?
Yeah.
And it's like, I guess, but then it's also like, at this point, even if you think that, you might as well just get rid of him to see.
Right. Because eventually you're going to have to. He's going to keep showing up to breakfast. So like, eventually it's going to end.
Yeah.
And then Tom interjects again, and he says it's crazy that the 5 people who speak out against him are voted out. They're all ignoring that, which is valid. Wes spoke out, Derek spoke out, Bob the Queen. You know what I mean? It's just been going down the line. Everybody who says something about Rob gets whacked.
It is. It's just so obvious, which
100%. And then Rob speaks. He has an explanation. He's like, listen, guys,
so long.
I have a reason for all of this. I believe that Derek and Wes figured out that they were faithful, so they came to the conclusion that I was one of the traitors because I was one of the guys in the cage. So he composed. And he's like, I'm composed right now, and I'm speaking clearly because I'm telling you the truth. Logically, what incentive do I have to kill Derek? It raises the suspicion on me. And why would I do that to myself? Tom and Brittany tried to interject, but he just keeps talking because he's like, it puts suspicion on me. And I think Tom was like, but you said that last time. And then he says only a few people knew that Derek didn't have a shield. And Brittany's like, but he told everybody. He told people, actually. He told me. And so he's like, only a few people knew that Derek had a shield, or that Derek didn't have a shield, and that was the people in his group, and that included Dolores, it included Sam, it included Brittany. So Brittany is one of the people who knew that he didn't have a shield. So who had the ability to frame him? Who has done this before? Brittany. And I'm like, this is the logic you used last week to get Wes out. Who has the ability to do this crazy thing I'm trying to tell you they did?
Right. And it's just like, my thing's 2 things. I'm like, okay, I will say his ability to kind of like pick details.
That's crazy.
And like all that.
I didn't remember any of that.
Knowing who knew he had a shield and all that. I'm like, okay, I could see that. I like how quickly Brittany said he told people.
Yeah.
Because it kind of debunks it.
Yeah.
But I will give Boston Rob his props. He's able to find like different things and like add it.
No, he remembers stuff.
But at this point, it being the 3rd time, it's kind of like... And also, it would only go so far because what's the thing? Like, oh, he's a threat to the traitors because he found a traitor. Like, let's say. Well, okay. Well, you were... Oh, balloons.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe I'd like suck my hand out or something. But balloons for Boston Rob. But my thing is this. I'm like, okay, you're right once, and then every other time you're wrong.
Yeah.
So how much of a threat are you really to the traitors if you're a faithful?
Right.
I don't know.
And it's the same argument used against Wes. It doesn't hold a lot of weight. So that's why I was like, you probably should have just thrown Danielle under the bus or did something else. Yeah. Because this isn't, and I don't know why he didn't think about that, or maybe he did, but I feel like that would have been his best way out because Danielle has been being weird. Mm-hmm. So they all go to vote. And Brittany says right before this, Brittany says tomorrow, if they don't vote for him, tomorrow they will be right back here asking the same questions, raising the same arguments. They're going to be doing the same thing if they don't vote out Rob. And then Dylan in his confessional is like, he's conflicted. So is Carolyn. She doesn't know if all the votes are there to take out Rob. Danielle too. They're like, if we do it, we need to do it now because we just told him that we were on his side. So they all start to vote.
I like Brittany's argument because I feel like if I were a faithful, that would be not one of the first things maybe, but one point you kind of want to drive home, like, you're going to look dumb when I stand up there and say I'm a faithful, especially in situations when the other person is so clearly a traitor.
Right.
And it's like, you guys are just going to keep doing the same
100%.
So like,
I'm glad that she said that. And I feel like this is what Wes should have done instead of being like, if you vote for me, look out.
I'm coming for you. Oh, Wes is annoying the shit out of me in all his podcasts he's doing. Him and like Johnny Bananas.
Oh, yeah.
Is like going crazy on Twitter. They're like, he's so anti like Big Brother Survivor, and he's like, the challenge started all of these and we actually do these things that are tough and Big Brother and Survivor don't. And I'm like, you're just mad you were murdered first.
You were bad at this game, Wes. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah,
you suck.
Johnny is still mad at Dan for murdering him. And it's just like, get over it.
I would be.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like the only person who could be mad at Dan is Phaedra.
I agree with that. But then, and Wes will just say these things like in interviews, just like, it's about entertainment and you have to play aggressively. So like, it's fine, whatever, but I'm still going to get a call back. And I'm like, okay.
No, he's really like, arrogant.
You still played bad and you're not that entertaining. I'm so sorry.
I agree. Like, I really feel like if he had been different, these people don't know you. They don't watch the fucking challenge. Of all shows that they don't watch, it's definitely the challenge.
A lot of people don't watch the challenge, sorry to say.
I feel like they probably watch, I don't know. I bet they don't even watch Big Brother or so. They don't watch game shows. These are reality TV people. If they are going to watch a show, it's probably Survivor, but not the challenge. And so I feel like he could have used his time making friends, getting close to people, talking to people, making them feel good about him, especially since he was one of the guys in the cages. But he's just like, I'm the winningest person at the table, and it's like, nobody gives a fuck.
I'm coming for anyone who votes for me. It's like, okay. But Challenge All Stars 5 is out, and I'm trying to watch that because Davon's on it, so y'all should watch that.
Davon!
We love Davon. Davon needs to be on season 4 of The Traitors. She said she wants to do it.
Aww, she would be so good.
She would be. I need her to be
faithful. Please be a faithful.
I kind of want her to be faithful just because a traitor, it can be difficult.
It's too much.
It's too much, and but like... there has to be a clause that they can't murder Davon.
Yeah, right? Like, can we just have... Or, like, if Davon gets murdered, she somehow survives.
Is she, like, a host or something? I'd love that.
So they all throw their votes in.
Yeah.
Tom votes for Rob based on the evidence. Yeah. Chriselle votes for Tom because she doesn't want to be part of this. She's like, I can't decide on these two people.
Me. I was like, Tom? Okay.
Brittany votes for Rob because of the evidence. Sierra also, like Chriselle, votes for Brittany because she doesn't think it's Rob, so she doesn't want to be a part of it. Dylan, well, I guess not necessarily like Chriselle, but Sierra votes for Brittany. Dylan votes for Gabby. He's the one who's like, we need to look in new directions. We're not on the right path.
I'm sorry, Dylan, you are overrated flop. I'm so sorry.
Who's overrating him?
The internet loves Dylan.
Really?
Yes, which I get. He seems nice, and because he like caught Bob the drag queen and was the first one to like get on that. But I'm like, okay, he was right once. He's been wrong about everything else since. Everything else.
He's being manipulated by Rob. Can you blame him? And he has a 6-pack.
I get it, but I'm like, they're trying to compare him to like Pilot Pete, and I'm like,
he gives Pilot Pete energy, Brandon.
He is not as annoying as Pilot Pete, I will say. But Pilot Pete at least was right more. So there was that.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue with the votes.
So Carolyn puts her vote in, and it's for Rob. I was so happy.
I was too. She pulled the plug. She was like, we got to do this. And what was her thing? It was just like, I can't hear a gamer going after another gamer.
Yeah, like a gamer is accusing a gamer for playing a game. Like, you're being manipulative and strategic.
It's like the Spider-Man.
100%. Sam and Ivar vote for Rob, and Rob votes for Brittany. So we have 5 votes on Rob, 2 for Brittany, 3 votes left. If one more person votes for Rob, he's out. And then we have Danielle, and she slowly turns her thing. Commercial break. You probably don't have commercials.
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay, yeah. Commercial break. Commercial break, but we come back, and she voted for Rob.
She did.
The lobster has been got.
Yes. And
What
I'm
did she
like,
say? The mob boss
We
is
finally got the mafia boss.
mafia boss.
and I'm like, okay, Danielle.
She's like, I know Brittany's a faithful. I'm voting for Rob. Dolores votes for Tom, and then Gabby votes for Rob. So 7 votes total. And it's time for Rob to stand before the group and tell them what's up. And he says, I've enjoyed meeting and playing with everyone. I had fun. He's smiling. He's like, I had fun. I am, and I have always been, from the beginning, a traitor. And they all celebrate. Tom stands up. He's like,
I'm like, Tom, shut up.
but your arm. I was like, see, this is the annoying part. Tom was right, so now he gets to walk around the castle like he's some big tough guy.
I know. Sierra's like sitting in disbelief. She's like, are
just
you
like,
fucking kidding me?
I was holding hands with him for 8 minutes. And he was being so nice to me. I didn't even suspect a thing.
She's like, I'm never trusting a man on reality TV again.
Ever
I'm like,
again.
you can't.
See, it's
Sierra,
the men.
if you ever meet a man and you're like, I should trust him.
No.
Don't. Not on reality TV. Just don't.
They don't do it. All the chairs are on the ground. I think Danielle and Brittany are hugging each other or somebody. Everybody is jumping around. They're celebrating. It's a great time.
It is. And Boston Rob, he's reflecting. And he's like, I would have, like, went to the end with Carolyn. Like, I know why she was suspicious of me and didn't trust me, but honestly, I would have. But Danielle, she's an awful game player, an awful traitor, and awful in every other way.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, shit.
Can't necessarily argue with him there.
I know. I'm like, look, it is what it is.
No, but I really feel like Rob should do some reflection. Rob, had you not killed Bob the Queen, I really feel like none of this would have happened.
Or at least waited and kind of planned it out and let the other traders kind of be in the know and plead your case. But because you did it so irrationally, you didn't take into consideration the other traders
100%.
and how that would make them feel or anything like that. Danielle created havoc. She went after Carolyn for no reason. She's been playing this game messy. But the one who kicked off the distrust,
it was Rob.
It was Rob. I mean, maybe we could argue Bob for saying what he did in the mission, but I don't think he did that maliciously. And maybe if Rob would have talked to him, he could have seen.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was a way. I don't think Bob, the drag queen, did it in a way to be targeting Rob.
Right.
Per se.
And I also think that because Rob has been strong-arming Carolyn and Danielle to vote out all the people he wanted to vote for, he also shot himself in the foot because you decided to kill 3 people who were suspicious of you and then go after other people at the round table. Like, you were doing a little too much. You had a lot of sus on you and you just had to keep, like, working around it. And had you just calmed the fuck down for a couple minutes, maybe listened around and been like, oh, well, Bob the Queen said the 3 guys, but nobody really cares about that. You could have just ran with it. He made his own bed, but sure, Danielle sucks.
Right.
You suck too.
The only good traitor is Carolyn.
I was about to say something bad. You suck too, Rob. Take off your hat. Your hair looks fine. I don't get it.
It does.
But you looked really nice in your suit.
Period.
Anyway, Danielle is relieved, and so Alan is like, congratulations, now we have shit to do. There's 6 people
celebrating.
No more sit down.
Tom,
Pick up your chairs. What do you think this is? Show some decorum. Have some decorum.
come on, we have murders to do.
We have things to do. They're like, 6 of you are up for murder, and tonight we're murdering in plain sight.
Yes. And the 6 that were, because they didn't get a shield from the challenge, are Carolyn, not really, but
Yeah.
Gabby, Chriselle, Dolores, Tom, and Dylan. So, and this is where he says how it's going to happen, right? And he's like, you'll have to get ready to meet in the church because the murders will be taking place face to face. The traitors will murder to their face.
They're like, we're gonna see them. Oh my gosh! But then we'll know. And then it's like, but then you'll be dead.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You can know.
Also, you would have found out on the after show.
Yeah.
That they're doing. Those are pretty fun. Have you been watching them?
Only a few.
Robin's was funny.
I didn't see it. I think you told me about it though.
Yeah. I'll send them. They're pretty good. But Dylan's sad because Boston Rob was a close ally. And
thought he
now
was
he
gonna
feels
cry.
vulnerable. I know he did look like he was going to.
His eyes were really puffy this whole time. Like, you okay, Dylan?
They were. I mean, I get it. Some people, I was listening to a podcast, they were suspecting if maybe he knew Boston Rob was a traitor, but was trying to keep him close as like a traitor angel. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe. But he's not saying that.
Yeah.
And Dolores goes, Tom, you should be proud of yourself. And he's like, I am.
Dolores, please.
Stop it.
I want to see Gabby's reaction. She's probably like,
right.
Like she always, she sees Tom.
But he's happy. And this is where he says in the confessional, people are finally starting to listen to me. And I'm like, we'll see if that lasts.
Yeah.
But Danielle and Brittany, they dance together. And this is where I'm also suspecting, and I've heard some people online say, do we think Brittany knows she's a traitor?
Danielle? No.
I think she might.
Why?
Well, she did say in an interview that she clocked Danielle acting weird, but no one would say it.
Yeah.
Like in the challenge and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I think she suspected. I could see her thinking it and keeping her close.
The problem with this cast, though, is they see a lot of shit and they focus on like the minute stuff, like, oh my gosh, but Nikki. And it's like, Danielle just did some weird shit in front of your face and nobody's talking about
that part. They're not. I do suspect too, though, because notice whenever it's talking about the relationship, they never show Brittany's confessionals. It's always coming from Danielle's point of view.
No, I see Brittany confessional a lot.
Not about Danielle.
I remember she did one after Danielle told her who was talking about her.
Okay, but like about their relationship and being close. Like in this moment where they're getting close, it's just Danielle being like, I'm so glad we're getting close. Maybe after the challenge she said, oh, we work well together. But then it's like, oh, me and Brittany, we're this duo, we're this. But we're never hearing what Brittany thinks Danielle's stance in this game is. It could just be because they're just not including it. Maybe that's overthinking
they typically
it.
only watch. They only really include one perspective.
True, but it made me think. I'm wondering.
I think Brittany knows.
Brittany might know, or at least have a slight suspicion.
In her interviews afterwards, she's also said that she suspected everybody at some point.
She did. She suspected Robin at some point. She said in some video, she's like, Robin kept trying to get me to look at pictures. And I was like, is there a way that if I look at these pictures, all of a sudden I'll get murdered?
What?
And I'm like, honestly, creative thinking. Wrong, but
I don't think she'd be dancing with Danielle in the hallway if she thought she was a traitor.
But you gotta, we're besties. Don't murder me. But I already told you my one theory that I didn't say on the pod.
What?
Or that some people are thinking.
The hat theory?
Well, there's the hat theory, but then there also who potentially was recruited. Which I don't know if they're going to recruit.
I didn't hear this.
I told you when we were on the phone with Madison. People think, one tweet, because of stills from the trailer, that potentially Brittany was recruited as a traitor.
How? They saw her in the turret?
They saw someone like writing a name in the arm.
Not us comparing arms. Most of the girls in the castle are white.
This is true.
Whose white arm is that?
But I could see, I started to think it, because remember when Danielle
could only
was...
be, it either is Carolyn's arm or someone else's arm, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it didn't have tattoos, and Carolyn has tattoos.
On which hand?
I think both.
People were...
I mean, an arm's an arm, but
there's a lot of white girls. There's mostly white girls left. It could be Gabby's arm. It could be Chriselle's arm.
This is true.
It could be Tom's skinny arm. Tom has skinny arms.
This is also true. But just learning more, because they're really pushing Danielle and Brittany as a duo. I could see...
They are?
Yeah, on this episode?
Only this one?
I mean, that's all it takes. But also... Because remember before Danielle would say things like, I want to bring a traitor I can work with. Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Yeah, like if we thought about people to recruit.
Brittany's not a bad one.
Brittany's not a bad recruit. Dylan's not a bad recruit. I don't think Dylan would say yes.
Though it could be Gabby if Carolyn gets her way. Because I would imagine Carolyn would want to recruit Gabby.
Nobody would suspect Gabby at all.
No. So it could be either or. But I'm just like, there's something... It's this late editing where it's painting them as a duo. Because they mentioned them being a duo in Big Brother like 8 times this episode. They really want to drive it home. Like, we work well together. We're a duo. Mm-hmm. We're getting along. We're mending fences. Mm-hmm. Why?
Brandon's in the basement of his room and he's got all the paper on the wall. He's like, and then this is her arm from Big Brother, but this is her arm today.
It's the same arm.
And he's got like a sweat mark on his neck and he looks like he hasn't slept in a couple days.
Although I will say, if they do recruit a traitor, I low-key don't think it's fair. It's too late in the game, and there's still 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say that earlier. All this shenanigans you did, Rob, really just protected Danielle and Carolyn and brought them to the final 12. Now it's 11, and there's 2 traitors left. So there's probably gonna be maybe like 3 or 4 more banishments. There's 9 regular players left, and usually at the very end we have at least 4 faithful or 3.
Yeah, usually when
6?
they go to the outside, it's at least like 4, I think.
So there's gonna be 3 more nights then, 3 to get out 6 people. So you kind of all this shenanigans, but you protected these 2 low key.
Yeah.
You were so annoying that people didn't even look at the clear evidence of Danielle being funny.
Right.
And now they're kind of at the end, which they have a better chance of winning.
Yeah. I'll just say if they recruit a traitor and that traitor makes it to the end, unless either Danielle or Carolyn are with them, I won't think it's fair. Because that's late.
Yeah, I don't think they really don't need another traitor. Typically, they'd bring them in, I think, to keep like making it interesting. But I think it's interesting enough.
It is, and they have like 2 traitors already. By this time, they usually only have like 1.
Yeah.
So I feel like, or if they did, they would have recruited maybe an episode or 2 ago.
Yeah.
But they
don't need to recruit.
No,
they're
I
doing
agree.
just fine.
But they all go to bed, and then it's the turret time. And this one's interesting because Boston Rob is gone.
He's gone.
And it just feels like Danielle and Carolyn, they're excited. And it's like, oh, are these 2 going to actually work together?
No.
Maybe for this brief night.
Too little, too late.
It is. But they basically agreed that there was no way they could defend Boston Rob and all that.
I'm glad they were both for it.
Same. I'm like, at least they were on the same page with that. It makes me mad though. I'm like, Danielle, had you not thrown Carolyn under the bus so aggressively that one day,
y'all would be fine
like
right
you
now.
told, and maybe if you had only told Dylan, but you said it like to 8 people.
You told Dylan, you told like Brittany a lie about Carolyn. You told Gabby.
Yeah.
I guess Dolores heard too. Like, girl, you were being so messy over here just saying sorry. You didn't even cover your tracks.
That part. But Danielle tries to say, look, I got you, Carolyn. I got you. And Carolyn's like, but not more than Brittany.
Which is kind of, now they're making the Brittany thing again. Did they tell Carolyn to say that?
Maybe. But Carolyn does say, look, from this point on, I'm taking this game one day at a time. Like, it is what it is. Like, it changes so much, which was her strategy from the beginning, if we remember. So I think that's a good call. But they're excited to do the face-to-face murder. And they agree that anyone who's available right now, there's reasons to kill any of them. So we don't really get a sense of who they want to.
What do you think? I think it's Tom.
I don't know.
I think Tom would be a good person to kill because he just got somebody out, but people don't really like him that much.
He could be. I'm feeling Chriselle or Dolores for some reason.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
Well, I feel like the sneak peek gave it away a little bit.
Maybe. Okay, because they do have the moment. So the turret ends and they have like the church moment.
Brandon, they all put their nasty clothes back on. I hope it was dry cleaned.
Well, I think...
Or was it just the boys?
I think just the boys.
But I remember seeing that thing on what's her name's neck, and it was the same. But yeah, maybe the boys just had to put their clothes back on, their normal clothes.
They put on their suits. Gabby, Chriselle, and Dolores put on like those red gowns, and they walk down the church aisle. And then it's just so dramatic in camp. I love it. And then they each give like final words. And Dylan's is, I've given it my all and I made mistakes, but I've stayed true to who I am. All right. Gabby, if these are my last words, then so be it. This fate is mine and I welcome it. Period. And she had a bow on.
Not period for Gabby, but nothing for Dylan. They essentially said the same thing.
No.
But we love Gabby. We stand Gabby.
Gabby owned her fate. Chriselle, though, Chriselle, I find her to be vastly annoying. But she's like, although I appreciate the theatrics, I'm not ready to die today.
She's like, this is cute and all, but like, can I go
Don't
back?
do it. Dolores all of a sudden gets a bass in her voice and she's like, traitors, you better kill me because I'm coming for you.
Are you?
And I'm not. And I'm just getting started.
What did you
Okay.
start?
That part, I'm like, you've been wrong about every theory. But okay,
Over
Dolores.
here supporting Rob and defending him.
Yeah. And not suspecting Danielle. Like, come on. And then Tom is like, I wanted to come here and prove my worth to myself and others. So if I die today, I die a happy man.
Prove your worth.
Shut up. This is a fake game. Shut up.
He's
He's so annoying.
prove your worth? What do you mean?
They showed, I don't know.
He's like, I want to show that I can be
I
good
will-
at game shows.
While wearing a kilt. But they show them all turn around, but they don't show
Yeah.
who actually saw it. Did you think Tom, because of the way he looked?
I thought that Tom, Dolores, and Gabby looked really shocked. I feel like
too.
Tom would probably just be like, oh, no one's here. But I wonder if Dolores or Gabby.
Here's the thing, though.
But I think
I could see, with Tom, like, he's just, like, gonna be theatric for the sake of looking theatric. So it could go either way. I don't know why. I'm just feeling Chriselle or Dolores. They show in the preview them handing it to the person and then them saying just, like, you're too much of a faithful or something.
Yeah.
I don't see Dylan because they like Dylan and he doesn't suspect them. So to me, that
doesn't.
wouldn't be good.
No. I feel like I see a reason for Tom. I think that Gabby is safe because Carolyn likes
Yeah.
Gabby. So yeah, it could be Dolores or Chriselle.
Yeah, so we'll say Dolores, Chriselle, or Tom.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of those three. But I'm excited to see regardless.
Yeah. Very good ending. Nice cliffhanger.
Very good. Love this episode. It was
Loved
so
it.
fun.
Boston Rob is dead.
Boston Rob is a ding dong. Boston said, the wicked witch, the wicked witch. Boston Rob is dead. But y'all, that's it for today's
That's
episode.
all.
We'll be back next week to discuss the Traitors and Summer House, the premiere.
Yeah, so we'll probably do Summer House first.
Probably.
And then
Summer
we'll-
House, I don't think we got to do scene by scene. It's kind of light.
Yeah, we'll
It's like-
probably record that one day and then we'll record Traitors another day.
Yeah. And so we'll figure that out. You'll see. We'll be putting it out, so stay tuned, y'all.
Stay tuned.
But in the meantime, thank y'all so much for listening. Make sure to rate and review us. Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. You can also on Spotify leave comments under our episodes. Start doing that. That should be fun. But if you would like to watch us and see our beautiful faces, instead of just listening to our beautiful voices, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Shade of It All Podcast. And then also, we post clips on TikTok at The Shade of It All Pod, or podcast, and then Instagram at The Shade of It All Pod. And we'll talk to y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.